Today I have an extremely impactful conversation I had with Nala Ray at our Young Ones Leadership Summit. She's been very brave and forthcoming about her journey from OnlyFans and then finding God and Jesus. I think you'll really enjoy this. You can listen to the entire conversation on the Charlie Kirk Show podcast page. Take a listen. Nala Ray, welcome to the Charlie Kirk Show.
Thank you so much. This is an honor.
So I met you at one of our campus events.
Yeah, what an exciting event too, especially for you being at your last, right?
That was the conclusion.
Yeah.
Went very viral.
It did.
So what, in your own words, why don't you tell me your story?
All right. So I'm most known for being OnlyFans is like one of their top models for the last 5 years. So that's a pretty great accomplishment in that realm, that world. You know what I'm saying? So being like a top earner, being very famous, very public about what I did, going on podcasts saying the most ridiculous, crazy things for views. I mean, you do that, but in a better sense, obviously, and for a good cause. I was not. So that's what I did for the last 5 years, and that's what I'm known for. You know, I grew up as a pastor's kid to a Baptist pastor.
Really?
Yeah, not a lot of people know that, but I think that's where my journey really started, in a cage of religion. You know, I didn't have a relationship with Christ. I just knew church, going to church, being on the worship team, and doing what my parents told me to do.
So I have a ton of questions, but we have a lot of older Americans that listen to this, and they have no idea what OnlyFans is.
Oh, wow.
So
it's the downfall of America.
Right. So thank you for saying that. So OnlyFans is not just modeling. It is
That's
more
what they
than
love
that.
to portray it as.
Right.
You're a model, right? When you think of model, you're thinking of walking on runways, being prestigious, like you're very beautiful, you know, that is your lifestyle, and getting paid to do that, but not being paid to show nothing. So OnlyFans in a nutshell is literally just you selling whatever you want behind a paywall. And OnlyFans loves to portray it as just being a model, but it's so much deeper than that. I don't know one person on that platform that doesn't show nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like doesn't, show just like clothing. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
With on. It's all about porn.
So yeah. So for those that don't know in the audience, OnlyFans is a subscription service. So mostly used by men, but also women, but
Yes.
mostly men, would you say?
Because men pay for sex.
Right. So
That's
they're
why.
paying individuals like yourself to either send them individually or to view your naked pictures.
Absolutely.
So how popular is this platform?
You know, when I started back in 2019, it wasn't that popular. Like I was so unaware of what that platform was. It had been up apparently since like 5 years before that, but it was just looking like a subscription-based website where you could sell fitness courses, cooking courses. You could be a therapist on there. That's what they sold it as. And that's exactly what they intended it for it to be. But it turned into something very different very fast. And I was one of the leaders in that movement of putting porn on that site.
So how many people were giving you money a month?
Oh my gosh. My max subscribers were like 270,000 subscribers.
270,000. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a big fan base.
That's like 2 Arrowhead stadiums. If you know Arrowhead Stadium.
It's massive. When you think about it like that, in
or like
real
two
person.
big house, like the Michigan Big House, 2 of those. And they were mostly men.
Almost all men. I'd say 90% of men.
So just as a side note, OnlyFans has millions of young men that then pay young ladies and sometimes other men, but that's a whole separate.
That's a very separate issue.
To have them have personalized.
It's called the girlfriend experience. You know, you get in relationship with this girl online. That is it's like the whole girl next door movement. Like, you know, it's a relationship. That's what the girls and OnlyFans market it as, but you do not have a relationship with them. So almost 90% of the women on OnlyFans are managed by OnlyFans managers.
I was going to get into that.
Right.
Would you call them pimps?
1,000,000%. They're grooming pimps.
Did you have one?
Absolutely. I had 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
They're like in their 40s. They're men. OnlyFans agencies are only run by men. I've never met or seen one that's not run by a man. So immediately off, you're dealing with women who have either daddy issues or broken homes, and then now men come in their life and tell them what to do. They cannot force them to, but they'll insinuate, you will never make enough money if you don't do this scene. You will never do this. They always provide either drugs and alcohol at the content houses, very readily available. They'll bring in big porn stars to work with those girls too. That has happened to me many times, where someone who doesn't even work on OnlyFans is brought in to be like an object for other people.
So there's a fair amount of college women that get drawn into this.
Absolutely.
Would you say millions?
Yeah, absolutely. So many being at 18 years old.
Yeah. And what is shocking for some older Americans to hear is how normalized this has become.
That's what I'm seeing too, is that, well, sex is so readily available even on your Instagram feed. You know what I'm saying? You're just seeing girls half naked in bikinis showing and supporting their OnlyFans, so broadly.
And so then let's go back to you for a second. So you're a pastor's daughter. Mm-hmm. What state are you from? Where are you from?
Illinois. I was born there.
What part?
Decatur.
I know Decatur.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm from Wheeling, Illinois.
Okay.
Yeah. Northwest suburbs.
Okay.
So yeah, I know Decatur. That's central Illinois.
Yeah.
So you're a pastor's daughter.
I was, yeah. My dad was a Baptist pastor for a long time. I don't even know how our family got into that. It was so sporadic. I have a very broken family, though. A lot of it started with my family losing everything we had in a tornado. We lost our home, our clothes, our toys, our food. Everything was gone one night.
Well, how old are you?
I was 8 years old. And so your family, like I'm the middle of 5 children with 2 parents at the time. So then after that tragedy happened to my family, my dad divorced my mom because he cheated on her. And then I lost my dad for like 2 years. He left our life. And then he came back in the picture 2 years later, remarried my mom, became a pastor out of nowhere. So we went through multiple church splits after that. I don't know why, but we did. We went through so many church splits. My dad stopped being a pastor, was dragging his family all around like Florida, Illinois, everywhere, just to like live his dream of being in the spotlight. You know what I'm saying? Even if it was just a pastor. So my life drastically changed. And now my parents are divorced again. My dad's in jail facing a life sentence.
Oh, what did he do?
He did a lot of things, actually. A lot of it started with their second divorce because he cheated on her again. He was stealing money from me while I was on OnlyFans. He had a lot of drug addiction, and nobody really knew about it. It just randomly came out. It was awful.
It's terrible.
It's terrible. And then he broke into my mom's house with like a gun and a knife, and like assault and battery happened. And so he is now facing a life sentence.
So walk me through the first moment you heard about OnlyFans.
I was on Instagram. I was a literal nobody on Instagram. I just like fitness stuff. My name is Fitness Nala on Instagram. I love fitness stuff. So this random person reached out to me. It was a gentleman, reached out to me. Well, he's not a gentleman. He's just a man. But he reached out to me and started talking to me about OnlyFans, and COVID had just hit. So like we're all like getting sent home from work. I was in a very normal job, working a 9 to 5, like I was working in orthopedics at the time, like scheduling surgeries and stuff. So they moved me home because of COVID, and he reached out to me and was like, hey, you do so good on OnlyFans. You would make so much money. All you have to do is use my referral code and sign up. So anything I would make, he would make 5% of it. That's what he was trying to do. And OnlyFans had that like rule for a while about referrals and stuff like that. If they could get people on OnlyFans, they'd make money off of you.
That's how they grew the
et cetera, 1,000,000%. So then I got on OnlyFans just showing bikini stuff. And like my first month working very hard, I made like $87,000. I quit my job immediately and went full into OnlyFans.
In 1 month?
1 month.
Okay. So this is early, 2018, 2019, right? So you're one of the first pioneers of this app. So you are, at this moment, did you have a good relationship with your father?
Semi. Yeah, I was closer to him than I was any other person in my family.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that relationship seemed like it was taking a turn downwards as this was happening?
It honestly wasn't at that point. Like I loved my dad. I had a good relationship with him sort of after he came back to our family.
Welcome back. Here's more with Nala Ray. Let me know what you think of this conversation. freedom@charliekirk.com, and become a member today, members.charliekirk.com, to watch the full conversation in its entirety. Enjoy.
I felt like he was the only person that I really related to in my family. We're kind of like the entrepreneurs, like in the family, stuff like that. So like our relationship kind of stayed the same, where my mom and mine's completely disintegrated. She stopped talking to me for 4 years. After that. I never spoke to one of my siblings after that for the next 4 years either. So it was just me and my dad.
So you are posting bikini pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure at some moment there was a fork in the road.
Of course.
Where you had to make a conscious decision to post more than bikini pictures. Because a lot of the girls watching this right now, they all put bikini pictures of themselves on Instagram.
Absolutely.
So that's not unusual. I don't think it's good, but that's not unusual. Bring us into the room of the moment that you decided to hit publish on a naked picture of yourself.
So it was when I felt like I had like nothing else to lose. My parents had found out I was on OnlyFans like a month and a half after I'd started, and they found out from other people. So I really thought I could hide it. I really did, but you can't hide from the internet when you're on it. So they found out, they confronted me about it. And this was right before I was going to move to California. And so I was in Florida at the time. They confronted me about it. That was when my mom decided to completely cut ties with me. And I was like, well, my dad supports me being on it. He truly said he supported me. And if he was younger, he would probably do the same thing.
Was he still a pastor at the time?
No, no. Thank goodness, right?
That would be quite an interesting pastor.
Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, I felt like I had absolutely nothing else to lose. I didn't have friends. I didn't have a boyfriend. I was just ready. And so I was like, okay, I'm moving to California, and it went hardcore real fast. And
first of all, thank you for being so open about this, because I think our audience needs to know, because this is replicated now, unfortunately, thousands of times.
And it's not talked about enough.
Well, thank you for being so vulnerable with it.
Absolutely.
Were you seeking money, or was there something else was there a validation?
Oh, validation and attention. I struggled so hard in my family dynamic with feeling loved. My mom wasn't like a loving, nurturing mom. She was like a disciplinarian, kind of cold, like therapist kind of mom. You know, it wasn't like, come hug me, come give me love. It was just kind of like, let me teach you something new so you'll be good at something kind of mother. Nothing wrong with that. But when your child really craves love and they don't get it, they look elsewhere for it. And I did. So my validation came from men, because my dad, was supporting me in doing porn. So for me, I was like, okay, cool. I'm doing nothing wrong here. Just validating that sin over and over again. But yeah, I turned mainly for attention. I never thought I was going to make that kind of money, but that attention felt really good, even though it was bad attention.
How much money were you making a month at the peak?
$300,000 to $50,000 to $400,000 a month.
Yeah, so that's about almost $5 million a year.
Yep.
Okay. So talk our audience through the different levels of experiences, for lack of a better term, that the audience could purchase.
Wow, I had a whole menu, actually.
So walk us, what was on the menu?
How graphic do you want me to be?
Well, not graphic, but how personal, because
extremely personal.
Meaning the man would pay exorbitant amount of money to get not just the naked picture, but to feel like he could control.
If they wanted a customized video.
That's the point. That it was about the control.
It was control
right?
completely, and they could ask for anything. It didn't mean I had to accept everything, and I didn't.
What kind of money are we talking about here?
It depends on the request. It always depended on the request. The higher the risk, the more money it was. And a lot of very weird men asked for very weird things.
5,000, 10,000, 20,000?
A few whales did pay for stuff like really, like 20,000 was like one of my biggest requests for a very weird video. And like even down to like pictures that were like really odd, like wanting to see like the pores in my skin, like really weird stuff. So yeah, it was weird, but I really tricked myself into believing like, oh, well, I'm at home, I'm safe. This isn't really affecting me. Yeah, I'm like literally catering to really perverted men, but they can't touch me. So it made it better for me, and mentally it did. And I smoked a lot of weed, actually.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you about that. So almost there's a one-to-one correlation between the porn industry and heavy drug use.
You cannot do porn without drugs or alcohol. You cannot do it. I've
Why
never
do you
seen
think that is?
you have to numb yourself because what you're doing is immoral. You're absolutely no ethics are involved in what you're doing. There's nothing good about it. There's nothing that feels good about it. Like people love to watch porn and be like, oh yes, that's so satisfying. It's so pleasing. It's so good. Nothing about it is good. It's so dark and evil. And the scars it leaves after every scene is so damaging. You have to try to forget it. Like weed is like really does aid in memory loss. So for me, smoking was just like, try to forget. It put me to sleep every night. It helped me wake up in the morning. It was my absolute everything.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.